Hi, my name is Esther Rolf. In this video, I'm going to give an overview of the research visions and directions for my lab at the University of Colorado Boulder, where I'm an assistant professor starting in the fall of 2024. In the next several minutes, I'll cover a broad overview of the research I do and why I do it, and give a sense of what it means to do research in my lab or collaborate with me. So the reason I research statistical and geospatial machine learning is because I'm excited about the immense potential for machine learning to help us make sense of the vast amounts of data collected around the world, in particular to help us monitor important environmental, ecological, and social phenomena, and to use this information to make better decisions and policies that benefit, hopefully, everyone. Despite this potential, benefit doesn't necessarily follow from algorithmic advances. And naive applications of out-of-the-box machine learning algorithms can actually exacerbate social harms or unfairness, or they might just simply be ineffective at solving the actual real-world problem we're applying them to. So if benefit, use, or effectiveness is our goal, machine learning algorithms and systems need to function within a broader context of design and use. While this is an interdisciplinary goal, as computer scientists, this means we need to expand the scope of our statistical analysis and system design to take into account factors like the structures and limitations in our input data, as well as the downstream use cases of our machine learning models or predictions. I'll start with an example of taking this wider view on the context of a machine learning system. And that's an example in using machine learning algorithms to make sense of just an incredible amount of satellite imagery that is collected around the world and publicly available. This slide shows Mosaics, a system I built with collaborators that's geared toward transforming how researchers can use machine learning with satellite imagery at scale. Focusing on the use needs and the fact that many analyses rely on the same underlying sets of satellite imagery, we actually made algorithmic simplifications that allowed us to greatly reduce the computational challenges of this technology, which is especially important for domain scientists outside of computer science. But challenges remain in using this abundance of remotely sensed data with machine learning, in particular for handling the different coverage, quantity, or resolution of labeled data that's available, and in harnessing the rich but incomplete signal that remote sensing data like satellite imagery tells us about the world. But these challenges, while they're motivated by machine learning with remotely sensed data, they don't just apply to remote sensing and machine learning, but to most machine learning problems using data that's collected in the real world. These real data concerns actually reflect a relevant question to general machine learning. And that question is one of understanding how different types of representation in our training data can explain or limit machine learning model performance, where here performance might include accuracy, but also other objectives like fairness in downstream use or even computational efficiency. In one line of my research on this question, I study a characterization of numerical representation from different data sources or groups, and why this matters for learning accurate and fair machine learning models. Looking forward, there's a whole set of exciting questions about how we use this understanding of the importance of numerical diversity to design and to reason about models that perform effectively under a variety of data conditions we might see in the real world. But I want to highlight that this is really just one facet of what representation in data might mean. What numerical representation alone won't tell us is how much an individual data point captures the information we really care about in the world. In a recent project, my collaborators and I showed that satellite-based models that predict poverty might actually be relying mostly on visual signals of urbanization, which has important fairness implications that we outline in our paper. But again, looking forward, if we can understand and at least acknowledge the incompleteness of our input data sources, this can actually help us create better ones. For example, by fusing multiple weak or incomplete observation sources, as you see in the project here, where we were fusing coarse, low-resolution land cover data with really high-resolution satellite imagery to produce then high-resolution maps of land cover. And with the novel modeling formalizations that we proposed, described, and demonstrated in our paper, we also can trace the uncertainty in our input data through to a tailored uncertainty in our model predictions. And you see that in the predicted map on the right here, where some regions are predicted with very high resolution and some are a little blurrier with a resolution that matches our uncertainty from the underlying data. So these are some examples of my completed research projects, all in service of this broader vision of making machine learning more data aware, both in theory and in practice. With this overarching vision, the lab that I'm building at CU Boulder will work on characterizing and designing general machine learning algorithms under different data conditions, with a focus on problem settings and applications in combining remotely sensed data with machine learning. Most of our projects will be somewhere in the middle of the general problem formulation and the specific context-driven application, in between and merging theoretical and applied contributions. And with that, I'm recruiting students and postdocs to start with me in the fall of 2024 at CU in the computer science department. We will have a good research fit if you're interested in statistical or geospatial machine learning methodology and tailoring those methods to the context of real-world problems. For example, like those in environmental monitoring. You'll have a good fit with my lab if you're excited about working within and actively fostering a collaborative, supportive, and communicative research community in our lab doing exciting, innovative, and sometimes interdisciplinary research. If this sounds like an exciting opportunity, you can find more information, for example, about recruiting events on the CU Computer Science Grad Admissions page, or you can visit my website, which is that URL at the bottom of the slides.